My name is Debbie Baldwin.
My name is Christy Baldwin.
My name is Debbie Capriato.
And we were assaulted at the Benton County Election Commission meeting.
I've been in law enforcement for 27 years. I worked in an undercover narcotics capacity in Jackson for 6 years. I've been a violent crimes investigator down there for another 6 years on top of that. So I know everybody's not going to tell. There's always three sides of a story. There's your side, there's their side, and there's what really happened.
Right.
You know, we have the video, so it's pretty cut and dry. It's just going to be what the ADA see and what a judge sees that makes a determination. And like I said, I told your mom, I wish I would have videoed it on my phone and let you see it. I don't mind letting you see it. I just can't release the copy of it, you know what I mean, until...
Well, I would really like to see it, considering that Gina's already seen it.
Well, I understand that too.
You know what I mean?
She
Like,
has that access, but...
Because here's what it boils down to. You realize my mother is an elected official.
I do.
This lady is over her election. If she is so unstable... I mean, yeah, did we make memes? Have I made memes? Absolutely, I've made memes. But you know what? That fits under the First Amendment with political satire, and I'm allowed to do that.
In this installment of Tyranny in Tennessee, we visit Benton County, the gift that keeps on giving. Earlier this year, a group of citizens saw how deep the corruption ran in their town, and they decided to take a stand. They began going to all the local meetings, they exposed shady land deals, and were becoming a pain in the side of the good old boy network that runs most of the county. That is, until September. On September 23rd, 3 ladies, 1 city alderman, her daughter, and a veteran, were assaulted at the Benton County Election Commission meeting by a commission member and her husband. After the assault, the good old boy network apparently sprung into action, trying to make it go away. We have audio recordings of the investigator telling victims that if they decide to press charges, at least 2 of the victims will also face charges. Apparently, attempting to defend yourself is now disorderly conduct. Who knew? Over 1 month later, the victims have still not gotten a copy of the video, and even the local state representative is getting the runaround. We are still working on obtaining a copy of the security video ourselves, but in the meantime we feel it's time that the public knew what's going on, and it's time that they got involved. Listen to the victims tell their story, listen to the investigator threaten charges, and decide for yourself, is this how justice is meant to be served in Tennessee?
Earlier this year, we had a hostile takeover of our election commission and administrator.
The state came in and replaced our 5-member commission. They also had them fire our administrator. So we're thinking it's time for the public to get involved with the commission, to keep an eye on what they're doing. Otherwise, why would they want to replace the whole 5 members and the administrator? We have had suspicions from other areas of the state. They're doing this to other administrators in other counties. But we never expected what we received the last meeting we went to.
We actually had I thought a very good meeting. We had put out an olive branch and had said, look, we don't agree with how you guys got into this role, but we're willing to work with you, and we're going to do our civic duty of oversight at these meetings. And as soon as it was over, Miss Gina Beasley decided that she was going to start picking at my mom over some memes that had been made.
At the last meeting, I was physically assaulted by the husband of Miss Beasley, one of the new replacement board members, after she had assaulted 2 other people already.
At the last election committee meeting we went to, after the meeting was over, the commissioner who assaulted me, came over to the counter and was talking about memes on social media.
That escalated to her husband coming towards my mother and myself and cussing and his eyes bouncing. I have never seen anybody get so mad that their eyes literally bounced. But when he started doing that, and he stuck his finger in my face and he said, I'm gonna knock your effing head off. Only he didn't call the words. And the look in his eyes, I knew he meant business. So I asked my mother to record him. I said, Mom, we need to do this for our protection. And then she came around the counter where I had my phone ready to record. She slapped my phone out of my hand, slapped at me. Her husband shoved myself and Christy and another lady, Debbie, that was with us. And as she lifted the phone to record, that's when Gina came around and started hitting her. I think she was actually trying to knock the phone out of her arms, but she was actually hitting my mother. Her husband, who was very wild-eyed looking, like I was really scared of him, really terrified of him. Debbie came up and was trying to de-escalate the situation, you know what I mean? And he ended up grabbing a hold of her and slinging her around.
I intervened when I thought it was actually over.
No one on the commission offered to come around the counter to control him or her. They just proceeded to go to a back room and say they didn't see a thing.
I tried to call 911 twice and was not answered.
So we called the police. It took a hot minute, but they did come.
The police did come, though, because another victim of assault had managed to get through.
During the time that we had to wait on them, we were verbally assaulted. Gina actually admitted to assaulting my mother while she's sitting there having chest pains. Well, I don't know why you worry about yelling. You done hit my mom.
I didn't mean.
You did.
You knocked her
You
phone
did.
out
You
of
knocked
her
my phone
hand.
twice.
And yeah, so it was kind of treated like it was no big deal. Just make your statement. Nobody's going to jail tonight. No big deal. Since then, we have noticed everything be slow walked. It has turned into a circus as far as trying to get the video. We're jumping through all the hoops they've asked, and they're still telling us no.
Later that night at 3:30 in the morning, I received a phone call from a woman claiming to be the 911 operator. She said that I had just done a hang-up call to 911, and that's why she was returning that call as law required her to. She asked me my personal information, name and address, and then hung up. The next morning, I started thinking about that more since I was awake now and did some investigating. I talked to Mr. Justin Whipple, who maintains all of the 911 records, and there was no incoming phone call to the 911 system here in Benton County for an hour before she just randomly called me in the middle of the night. Neither was there a call to 911 for a half an hour after. I find it odd that I received that phone call, especially since during the Election Commission meeting I had made a point that I didn't want to be harassed just because I was attending these meetings.
And since you won't give me your name and your phone number, if you'll keep an eye on the Facebook page, I'll put the information that's out there for the lady that wouldn't give me her name.
Well, it's not that I don't want to be harassed.
I'm not going to harass
Oh,
anybody.
listen, I understand. I
don't wanna be
completely,
here.
and I don't participate in that at all. I've been there.
Right. Just so I won't be driving down the road and pulled over by the police because I asked a question at the Election Commission.
The next day after the meeting, we were served with an order of protection, which, if it had been granted, would have taken our guns away from us, all for something that we were the victims of.
We are having problems getting a copy of the video that was from the commission office. We're getting a runaround.
Even though we were assaulted on that video, and we have to have the video in order to obtain a lawyer. So it's just been one thing after another, and it all feeds back into the corruption in Benton County. And I feel like that This is a prime example. Watch it get swept under the rug.
The investigator tells us that he may have to prosecute all 4 of us, even though half of us were victims. The other half did the shoving and the hitting. We're fine with that. We just want this story to get out there. We want everyone to know what's going on in our county.
As you know, they will not release a copy of the video, but we were able to capture a few seconds of the Facebook Live video, which shows Commissioner Gina Beasley walk up to the camera and taunt the audience. The next video will pick up just after the fight, while the parties were waiting for the police to arrive. In the last part of the video, you will hear hidden audio recordings between Andrew Smith, an investigator assigned to work the case, and Christy, one of the victims.
I signed this one.
Wonder when my turn is to complain. Honest, what you did.
No, it's not. Because I made a meeting.
You chopped the video in half.
So I'll give you the whole damn video. You can do whatever you want
You
with
wouldn't
it.
post it. Nothing happened at the last meeting.
I did
Neither
post
one
the
of you
whole thing.
posted.
The whole thing was on Facebook Live. All they had to do was go look at it.
Yep.
No.
Yes.
I got
Yeah,
Yes.
Go look at my Facebook Live. It is. I was Facebook
What about
Live.
welcome to the dark side?
I don't even remember that one.
You got to do that.
What?
And you, I guess.
I didn't have anything to do with any of the babes.
6-year-old picture of me.
It was on your Facebook page, I guess. I don't know.
No, my Facebook page is set private.
Well, it wasn't yours then. I don't guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I have looking for the picture for the witch thing I did. Yeah.
Do you enjoy doing that to people?
Only when they've been a bitch to us.
Only when they're. The Democrats are here now. You gonna back off?
I
What's
used
your
to
harm?
like both of you.
My bad.
I considered both.
I thought you were a friend. I really did for at one time, but
We come in
You-
up here and you start screaming and hollering
Yeah.
at all of us
Yeah.
like we've done something to you personally.
Yes.
Nobody has.
Christy, you were
What?
badgering me.
No, I didn't even know you were up here until we come to that meeting. And you turned around and acted like such a
You
witch.
called me down to that end of the counter.
I never called you down.
I don't want to yell. I was terrible.
Well, I don't know why you worried about yelling. You done hit my mom.
I didn't mean,
you did.
You knocked her
You
phone
did.
out
You
of
knocked
her
my phone
hand.
twice.
So there's no doubt about it. But you know, your mom in the video, your mom struck back at Gina when she slapped the phone out of her hand.
That could be considered self-defense.
It could be.
Because she slapped at her more than once. So who's to say that mom didn't come up thinking
in the
she was
video,
going to get
I only
slapped?
seen her slap the phone once.
No, she went like this.
Yeah. So.
At least that's what my memory serves. So.
And I've looked at the video, and I mean, worst case, you know.
But now you tell me, if somebody hit you, what would your reaction be?
It could be that, but is that the right reaction?
That one.
There's no doubt about it in my mind that in what I've seen on that video that Gina and Charles could face a B or C assault charge. If somebody hit me, I mean technically.
If somebody hit me, I'm gonna whoop their ass. I'm just gonna tell you.
That's part of it. That's
with
part
the
of,
exception of I am smart enough to know if it's a man, you might want to step back.
In that same situation, can that be interpreted as mutual combat?
I didn't start it.
I know you didn't, but you continued it. And that's kind of like where disorderly conduct falls into place. Once you continue something, even though it's not a physical altercation, by antagonizing and keeping and I'm not saying you did it.
I sort of say because I know we did not do that.
On the video, I think you put your hand on Charles's chest
because he was coming at my mother,
and then he shoved you violently. Ours is criminal. Ours is. I got a copy. The original is still there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's another thing.
Mr. Griffey.
They said that yours doesn't have audio. There is audio to those.
Well.
And I'm gonna tell you, the audio is gonna make it.
Well, I listened to the audio that your mom recorded, so
hers was nothing comparatively, because there is a part where he threatens us with that he's a member of the NRA. There is a part where he says he won't do any time in jail because he has money.
Right, I saw that in one of your statements.
Yeah, he also, like, he came at us cussing first. Like, I had no reason to interact with him at all until he started cussing my mom and coming towards us. You know what I mean? And that's when I was like, whoa, no, we're not doing this.
Right.
You know, but I'm telling you, like, I know Mom had said something about you were saying that we would get charged with disorderly. Do it. Charge us and charge them, because I think if we go to court, it'll work itself out.
Yeah.
I think the truth will come out.
You have to understand, I'm not taking anybody's sides at all. Okay, I got to keep straight down the middle of the law. What I see, well, like I told your mom, is had y'all immediately walked out of the building and called. I called sitting there because nobody else would. Yes. I know you called.
And I did not know. And I'll be honest with you.
But if you would have retreated just a little bit.
We did. We sat down in a chair and waited for the cops to get there. Because what else are we supposed to do?
You were up close to the counter when you went in between you and your mom.
That's not when he shoved me. He shoved me after she hit Mom.
Well, where I saw it was when towards the last time he put his hands on you was just before.
Okay, maybe he did it twice then.
He shoved you, and then the Capitola. Is that right? Am I saying that right? Debbie Capitola.
Oh,
I don't know.
Debbie, yeah, you're not saying it right. Capriata.
So as soon as he shoves you, she walks in like this, and he grabs her hand.
Yeah, that was at the end.
Yeah, I would probably say this much: if we file charges right now, I would probably charge Gina, Charles, and your mom, and I would probably could charge Debbie with disorderly conduct, because she's walking in doing her finger like this towards everybody. So that's antagonistic.
Right.
On your case, the only way I could see charging you is if Charles said if he says you put your hand on him, I can see you put your hand on him, but I can't see any offensive action.
Right. In a way, you realize, that's kind of going, oh, guess what? You probably don't want to press charges because we might have to do something against you. Do you see how that comes across to me? You were trying to talk me out of doing something?
I'm not trying to talk you out of it. Just like I told your mom, I'm not trying to talk anybody out of anything. I'm giving you the options.
Well, my options is this. Let's go forward, because I know what's on that videotape without even seeing it, because I was there. So I realize that any judge, or especially a jury that looks at that, will go, wow, okay, we as civilians have a right to be there. We should have been able to be there and not be assaulted. Mm-hmm. I didn't do any assaulting, so I'm not worried. Let's do it. And as far as obstructing justice, obstructing whatever, well, you said last time.
Disorderly conduct.
Okay, disorderly conduct. To be doing disorderly conduct, you have to stop somebody from doing something. The only thing I stopped anybody from doing might have been pushing me down on the ground. I don't think that that's a justifiable, I don't think I'll get in trouble, so let's do this. I want charges pressed.
This conversation lasted for nearly an hour and took place over 2 weeks ago. Since then, no charges have been filed. The third victim hasn't been interviewed. State Representative Bruce Griffey, ourselves, and at least one attorney have failed to be given a copy of the video. While the evidence is extremely compelling, we do recognize the accused are afforded the presumption of innocence until proven guilty in the court of law. That is, if it makes it that far. When government officials all across the country are harping on transparency, why won't the commission release the video and the audio for everyone to see? I'll tell you why. It's because they have something to hide. In conclusion, we appreciate you watching our 3-part series, Tyranny in Tennessee. Our next step to end this tyranny is legal action. If you approve of the work that Act Free Now is doing, please consider supporting our cause by going to actfreenow.com/donate.